that didn't turn out too well. So it's not that I'm losing interest in the games, it's just that there are good games or games that do keep me occupied on the side, which is perfectly normal. Sometimes it's just good to keep things in moderation. Doesn't matter how good the games are or anything in life. Like, you shouldn't eat too much candy or else you might end up with a bad tooth and such. So keep things in moderation and things will work out fine. Yeah, so don't eat too much ice cream, don't eat too many cookies, don't sunbath too much, and so on. I don't know. I've never gotten the hang of sunbathing. It's like you're lying out in the sun and with too much exposure you might get skin cancer. And I know that it probably wouldn't be a good idea for me since I tend to fall asleep pretty easily when, like, if my bedroom is hot, it actually makes me fall asleep much easier than if it's cold. So I know that I would most likely fall asleep pretty easily if I would sunbath more. So I try to keep that at a normal... Yeah, never mind. Now I'm just going off on a rant here. But yeah, it's summer, so it's pretty sweet. Can actually go outside without having to put on a jacket, and I don't really have to wade through meters of snow. Well, not meters, but it's like a few centimeters easily. It's so comfortable to to just go outside and it's so great. I know, it might sound kind of strange, but sometimes I just have these strange thinking sessions where I suddenly start to think about everything which has to do with, I don't know, could be anything, but sometimes I think about Shin Megami Tensei as in general and do a lot of speculating and trying to figure out how some of the spells work, because I don't feel that I have the full grasp of everything. But it's like I think about it, but it usually ends with me trying to, well, just leaving it at that and not really figuring anything out. But the fact that I actually think about these games sometimes, even when I'm not playing them, I guess that's good. That's a good sign. Plants, sweet. It's like since I recently read about that the news that Atlas is releasing SMT4, I instantly started thinking about all of the possibilities they would incorporate into the game. I mean, since Nocturne it's a good game, So I'm curious what they will do with SMT4. And the fact that they haven't released any more information, then oh hey, we are releasing the game and stay tuned. That's just, what can you do? And it will also, so yeah, you can imagine that I think I'm just going to be crazily anticipating information about those games. There's just something about the games which, in general, which are so appealing to me. I don't know exactly what it is, but it might be, you know, the collecting of demons. Yeah, you recruit demons, and there's so much different. You can do so much different things with it. You can summon all types of demons and so on, and there's just in a sense the skill system is pretty interesting, and the mechanics are not completely obvious at first glance. And you know, this, I don't know, it's hard to explain what is so appealing about these games. And even if like English was my native language, I'm not even sure if I could actually put it into words what I do find appealing about these games. I haven't really thought about how, if I read the information about in the games, I haven't really thought of how people actually describe what they do like about these games. But yeah, I guess for me it's like you collect companions or demons or personas, and how the games work and the boss fights and so on. Most of the time it's not about the storyline, because their storylines are fairly, I wouldn't say they're a movie material, but some of them are quite interesting. But yeah, I guess it just comes down to that sometimes I just have these thoughts about the games, and one of the thoughts I do have occasionally is, what do I actually like about these games? And sometimes I also think that I think way too much about these games, or things in general. It's like, it just happens when I'm walking outside and I don't have anything else to think about. Yeah, so are we actually going to see anything new happening soon, or? I just hope we're done in this particular area soon. Because I hope that I will not run out of light balls before we actually reach where we're supposed to get to. Whoops. So as you can see, the experience gain right now is not very great. So I can imagine that it's going to take a while for me to actually gain in levels while I'm in here. Which is actually what I want to do before I do the next boss fight. So I imagine that eventually, because you at least get an indication when there's a boss behind the next door. So once I find that door, I will most likely end up grinding again off screen. I feel that I should point these things out, since sometimes it's not completely apparent if I have been grinding or not. And I think it just helps to say that, just to not make things confusing the next time you watch the next part of this Let's Play, and you kind of might be wondering, so suddenly in the previous video you were doing this and now you're doing that the next video. So there's no reason not to point those things out. Okay, finally found a terminal so I can at least save. Okay, so there's a strong presence behind this door. Okay. Yeah, so this seems to be the door. And let's see, how much do I have left on? Okay. Yeah, it's gonna take him a while to master these mantras. So I will master these mantras off screen, and then we will continue with, well, heading through the door and fighting the next boss.